Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on the 1999 film East is East. Now, East is East is meant to be a 1999, a British comedy drama film that was written by Ayab Kandin as well as directed by Damian O'Connell, which is meant to be set in Salford, Lancashire during the 1970s, and is meant to feature a kind of slice of life story mixed with traditions, family, and what's right. So we kind of see how the premise of the film is meant to be about George Khan, who is a Pakistani Muslim who lives in Britain in 1971. We see how he has his wife Ella, who is his second, and his 7 kids. Of course, we see how, due to a failed marriage with one of his oldest sons, and we see how an incident with Sanjid, we kind of see how George is kind of left in a kind of broken position where he kind of realizes that his kids are more interested in their English roots and wants to kind of keep the Pakistani traditions alive. And you can kind of tell George isn't really a bad guy in a sense. He's just kind of worried about his culture being passed away, and is just afraid of being seen as an outcast by the Pakistani community that lives in England. So we kind of see how he has a plan with one of his friends to get 2 of his sons to be arranged by 2 potential brides. And I think this is where the film has a bit of a message about what's best for your kids, but at the same time, don't do things unless you know it's for the right reasons. I think there's a difference between George and Ella. I think George is a good guy deep down. He just kind of lets his ambitions and goals get the better of him. And you can tell Ella does try to be in the right, but knows that some things can't always happen, and it's being put to impossible standards. And I think the kids do work as characters. Like, I think when you got Nazir, he's maybe kind of the bad kid. I think when you got Abdul, he's meant to be kind of like the supporting role in the family. And when you got Manir, he's kind of meant to be the kind of nerdy but kind of punching bag. And I think when you've also got Mia, you can tell she's a girl who just wants to kind of have her own life. And I think having it set in 1971 does work, as I think 1971 was the time when cultures weren't really accepting each other fully, as you had Enoch Powell sort of brainwashing people into believing immigration was bad, even though the point of it is to give people new lives, new jobs, and new potential things. And I kind of feel it not having a big story does work, as I think in life there's no such thing as a big story. It's more about the day-to-day life and seeing how George and his family kind of want to do the right things, but you can tell they kind of throw things in, but know what they want to do is for the right or wrong reasons. And I think that really does work. And I do know that in 2010 we would get a sequel 10 or 11 years later called The West is West, which was meant to have a different premise, but at the same time was meant to have Sanjid's storyline, which I think definitely works. And I think if you're a fan of British films, then I think East is East is like having half a cup of tea. It's enjoyable, lovable to watch, and giving you the feel of the 1970s when things weren't ready to be fully accepted, but was slowly building there. So I think it deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, comic reviewer here, signing out.